welcome everybody. I am Bonnie Bruder and you are watching the Askbonbon Show. Real conversations about what matters most, where we bring you the people and the tools to create you. Today we are bringing you part of our technology series where we are interviewing some of the top technology founders and CEOs of companies here in New York and actually all across the globe. And today we have a really incredible expert to introduce you to. It's Josh Kopel, and he is the co-founder of ScrollMotion.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Glad to be here, Bonnie.
So what is ScrollMotion?
ScrollMotion's a platform that lets regular people build really amazing interactive content for iPads. And whether that be sales materials or educational materials, but taking advantage of the wow of those amazing devices. Fantastic.
So what type of businesses would utilize ScrollMotion?
Well, it's used a lot by pharma companies and big manufacturers and technology companies, and basically anyone that's trying to tell a story that is going to feel outdated on a PowerPoint.
Sure.
You know, and how do you tell a complex story that basically engages an audience, makes them lean forward, makes them really, really interested in what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. And how did you come up with this idea?
Well, this is like something I've been working on my whole life. I've always been a person that made things, whether that be books or movies or plays. I just always believed that one day there was going to be devices that were not just TVs, that people were going to engage with content on. And I always wondered when books and all the type of stuff that's on paper now, you know, when that was going to find its way to an interactive experience. And I just kept throwing darts at the wall, trying to make stuff that was going to resonate. And eventually, finally, the moment caught up with me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible in our lifetime. I don't know your exact age, but I imagine we're...
I'm 40.
I'm
big
42.
40. What's up?
So, you know, we went from Pong to this whole revolution of people using their device constantly and connecting and engaging and, you know, sometimes talking more. And one of my favorite stories, I was babysitting my cousin's 2 teenagers, and we were having dinner, and they weren't talking to each other. They were talking to each other through Facebook. And I just thought, wow, this is really a different time, and technology is a big part of it.
Well, I mean, isn't that like passing notes? I mean, aren't you just whispering in a way your parents can't hear?
Exactly. Yeah, I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
So fantastic. So if I am, you know, a business and I want to develop an app because it's, you know, the best way for me to communicate with my clients and customers, how do I start?
So we have basically a software that you can try out. It's a SaaS-based model, so you're able to go and try out the software and just start building. But the thing actually to think about is sort of how do you want to tell your story? Like, we're all storytellers, and when you're thinking about how to sell your product or service or anything, I think it really comes down to how do you really want to tell your story? I mean, so much of the work of even sort of building an app is about thinking through the experience that you want the person to have. We offer a lot of, if you download our software, you can see lots of examples of things you can try out and things that sort of we've done for other people, but it's really about, you know, I always ask our customers, and that sometimes, and a lot of what we're doing is we're taking things that used to be sales materials like gigantic PowerPoint decks, and we're helping them distill them into simplified ideas. So sometimes I say to people, like, if you were on an elevator and we were going from, you know, the 1st floor to the 12th floor, what would you tell me about your business to get me interested in it? And that's basically the first thing you should be working on when you're building an app, is especially an app for sales, is, you know, how do I get, what do I do to get someone's attention? And sometimes that's about demonstrating your product in a cool way, you know, whether that be like, I'm selling a MRI machine. Well, I want to, let's spin that thing around. Let's look at it in a way that makes you sort of lean in, and that's the first place to start.
Fantastic. And I imagine the industry has changed so much. I know just even a few years ago, you know, to develop an app, it was like $500,000 and you need, you know, some really, really smart people.
Yeah.
How have you seen that transformation in the last couple of years in the industry?
Well, we're starting to see tools that allow regular people to build without designers or coders. That's the real thing. It's how do you empower, how do you democratize these tools that, you know, used to require PhDs? And experiences like Scroll Motion and things like us are the things that make that possible. I mean, the world before videotape was an arduous process of filming. And,
yes.
I mean, and videotape is archaic now. But I mean, like, if you think about technology is it's a force that continues to allow for the lowest common denominator to take advantage of what's amazing about it.
Yes.
I eat at this restaurant, this really crappy Indian restaurant. It's awesome. But you know, there's a gigantic flat screen. There's a 55-inch flat screen TV in this place that you really don't want to sit in because it's depressing. And and there's free Wi-Fi. And technology finds a way to get to the lowest common denominator, and whether that be a business or that be an individual, like. What's so amazing about it is that it finds a way. And so I think about that Indian restaurant, and I think about, wow, you know, I remember when a flat screen television was like the most fancy thing you could possibly ever have. When your rich uncle got it, you know, and he said, oh my God, the television.
Yes.
You know? And now, you know.
Everybody has one.
That's right. Yeah, it's $900.
Yeah, fantastic. So what is your vision? You know, that's obviously a lot of transformation just in the last few years, but looking forward over the next couple years, what's your vision for Scroll Motion?
Well, we're going to build tools that are going to make anyone be able to build an app without even really, we're going to help you think about that stuff, how to tell a story, how to think about how to think about assets, how to even lower the barrier from going to a website to just essentially engaging with your phone or your iPad to make something really useful and then share it with as many people as you want. Like I think app is probably even the wrong word. Like what we're talking about is a revolution that has happened because of multi-touch devices. Because now I have a phone in my pocket and I have an iPad and maybe I have a watch. And how do you build the content for those devices that's truly transformative, that really engages people? And I think that's our job. You know, I used to have to, you know, in the early days of an app, right? You'd have to basically do everything. Essentially, you're building a printing press to make a book.
Yes.
Right? The question is how do we build the tools that allow people to make a book, you know, or to make essentially the content that they want, to take advantage of this amazing form factor, but without any of the hassle. That's where we're going to be.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to that.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for being here. If people are interested in finding you or maybe building an app, what's the best way to get in touch with you? Scrollmotion.com.
Okay. And we have a blog there also that talks all about this stuff and helps people understand how to think about it. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie.
We will be right back with another incredible technology company.